intangible fancy. We are lenient on murderers.
We've all been there. But the penalty for smuggling contraband is beheading.
Does he have a head? Can we even get that, whatever that is, that head area off?
What say you to the charges?
I didn't swallow it. I dropped it.
We all saw it. I mean, you're like a ghost or something. You're clear.
Here's something. I can see Councilman 8.
Yes. Okay, that's peculiar.
My name is Revenge.
That was odd.
So, hi! Welcome to Venture Bros. Me, your host, as always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, we have Nicholas the Hulk Friedemann.
Smash me up, baby.
That was so creepy.
That was the best, worst thing that could have happened.
I didn't like that at all.
That's so basic.
I'm not apologizing.
Please don't. But please don't ever say that again.
Are you just imagining me covered in like green paint, just sitting in my bedroom recording this, and just going,
Yes.
Smash me up, baby.
Hey.
Hey.
Like, it sounds like right after you get done saying that, you're like, I'm walking in.
Then take out a comb and catch myself trying to comb my hair back, and I go, I don't need it, and then I put it back.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm picturing throughout all of that.
Nailed it.
Ugh. And then we also... Jesus. We have Graham Artemis Mason.
Hello. Got nothing.
Yeah. Do you even know who Artemis is?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so. That's okay. I keep going for like Red Hood and the Outlaws characters. I don't know why, but you know, I haven't even read that book in over a year, but whatever. She's awesome. So, there you go.
Well, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
So, there's... No.
At least I wasn't like, no. It was,
You know what I would
there's
say?
moments.
I'd say Graham is jawsome. Like the Street Sharks.
Yeah. I will gladly take a Street Sharks reference.
Ooh.
Why, though? Why are Street Sharks even mentioned anymore? Why are they not just gone to history?
Because they're awesome.
No, they weren't.
Jawsome.
Jawsome. They were jawsome. It was them and biker mice from Mars.
See, now them I liked.
No way.
They had an awesome Super Nintendo game.
Oh, okay.
There
What about
you go.
VR Troopers?
We are VR? Yeah. Oh, I
yeah.
remember VR Troopers.
VR.
I used to work with one of the editors from VR Troopers. She said the show was a nightmare to work on, but very fun.
I can't imagine why. What about Beetleborgs?
Big bad Beetleborgs. Yeah.
What you got on that?
You know what I just thought of the other day? Creepy crawlers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing in the 90s.
It was.
Yeah.
Man, so much goo.
So much goo.
My parents refused to buy me one of those things, and I never knew why until I went to my friend's house and saw the mess it made. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is why.
That's why they just gave you an easy pick of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Brian drank a blue raspberry high C.
Oh, man, I forgot to mention last week, and I still haven't put it on Twitter because I can't figure out how to make the GIF that I made on my phone go onto Twitter, which I realize sounds like a very old man, but I've done this 1,000 times, and for some reason this one isn't working. It's driving me insane. But
Because
Nick
you're a
and I
dad now.
finally had Red Moco coolers.
I wish we hadn't.
I know I promised to drink it live, and now that I didn't, and I drank it not live, I made the right choice. That episode would have been a disaster. Those things suck.
They're gross.
But they're
I saw the pictures. That
They
did
are
not look
surprisingly
appetizing.
intriguing, though. Like, it feels like you're drinking a red Tootsie Pop, and then it's like a red Tootsie Pop that punches you in the stomach repeatedly.
Yeah, I didn't feel great. I didn't even have that much of it.
I definitely had more than you. We shared a glass, I should be honest. We didn't make two of these fucking things.
No.
And now I just have an unreasonable amount of Kahlua and chocolate syrup at my house. Because I thought we'd have more. But my God, you just couldn't.
Nope.
But Rusty drinks like 4 of them, so I figured we'd be fine. But whatever, I guess not.
He has an iron
More
stomach.
ice. More ice.
Yeah, we definitely needed more ice.
Yeah.
Oof. Anyhow, I think it's time to start talking about the Revenge Society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, as I said last week, one of my all-time favorite episodes of the entire show. It probably is, I'm just going to say it is my favorite episode of the season. It's a long season and we're very early, so I might eat those words later, but as of right now, I'm pretty confident about it. And it's mostly because of one two-headed character that just makes this episode so fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we'll
This
get
is a
there.
very strong episode. And
Oh my
that character, I mean, God, just talk about the amount of quotes.
He's just a quote machine.
It's incredible.
Everything he says is funny, timed well, and fantastic. Like, oh, so excited to get more into this. But before we do, I feel like Nick needs to tell us everything that happens in it.
All right.
Everything.
I'll give you a rundown.
Okay, that works.
So
I'll deal.
we have a phantom limb who his off is rocker, and he's broken into the Guild of Calamitous Intents councilman hideaway sort of building thing. He ends up breaking into them, doing an inquisition on one of the guild members, who's the ghost character Casper, I think is his name. And so basically he ends up capturing Phantom Limb, captures 2 of the councilmen, and takes them back to his place, where you find out that he has also captured Billy Quizboy, who has grafted the head of one of the councilmen onto the body of the other one. And then Billy spends the rest of the episode in a bag, and the councilmen spend the rest of the episode getting used to this new predicament that they've been saddled with. And basically, Phantom Limb wants to be the new leader of the guild, and he has the orb, or he ends up finding the orb, and you end up finding out that Dean is the leader of the guild, and he knights, in a weird sort of way, David Bowie to keep him as leader of the guild.
Yeah, that works.
There's obviously a lot more, but I wanted to I want to do it from memory to prove it to myself, and I feel like I deserve this.
I think you did a great job. I think you did an opposite of Graham job.
Ugh.
Yes. Yeah, way to rub it in my face, you big jerk.
Yeah, I didn't shroot it.
So before we get kind of in the weeds on this one with how great it is and how much I do love it, I feel like I want to knock out the one thing that's always bothered me in the episode. And just kind of get that done and out of the way. Because I watched it now twice for this episode. And both times I'm like, I want to make sure this makes sense to me. And it still doesn't. I've never understood why Dean is the lead of the guild.
I have absolutely no idea. Every time I watch this, I'm like, oh, right, this is how it ends.
I remember how it ends, and I remember enjoying it and going like, if I'm just willing to just say fuck it and go along with it, it's entertaining. But on like logic level, where I get very obsessed with like the nitty gritty of this show, I'm like, wait, what? Why wouldn't it be Rusty?
Right. I think
like, how is it not Rusty?
I think in theory.
Yeah, interesting.
I think in theory it's supposed to go to like the last person in the lineage, and my guess would be they found Dean but couldn't find Hank, so that's why. But even so, if you're going down through the lineage thing based off of the orb, I'm guessing it. What I'm confused by is kind of like, wait, was the great-great-grandfather or whatever who had the orb the leader of the guild? Then why? What was the deal with Jonas? Like, it raises a few too many questions for me as well.
Yeah, like it just kind of, as great as this episode is, and I honestly think it's great, man, it falls apart. Like, when you start digging into that, it really just doesn't work. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, I just think that probably... nah. As I mean, the Guild of the Calamitous Intent before it was GCI was just the Guild, way back when. Yeah. In even the flashback that we have in this moment from the episode of Orb proves that. And then I think as far as the lineage, probably at this point, I mean, again, we were talking about in Dean's episode that that Rusty is trying to push Dean up and support him in his next venture. And so probably when Sovereign came up to them, like, you both need to, which in that moment was hilarious. I always forget about that moment of like, Rusty, it's me from the future. We need to, sorry, I'm just fucking with you.
I just really quick, I don't want to interrupt, you're on the flow, but I do love that they always use that clip in every ad for the season, and they never had the follow-up of Bowie saying, I'm just messing with you. So when I was getting really excited for the season, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what the hell's going on there. Oh, nothing's going on there. Thanks a lot, guys.
With his 3D goggles and his staff.
That's so good.
It's so good.
So I think from that moment, he's like, I need you both to help me solve this thing, probably behind closed doors. Rusty was like, well, I mean, I know I'm technically the oldest and still probably the heir. Let's just pass it on to Dean so he can take it. And then there you have it.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I would definitely, Rusty passing the buck, that tracks.
Yeah.
And supporting Dean, his only son, or his son is the one that's going to be a scientist. So.
Yeah, that all works. I mean, everything you're saying makes sense. I wish we had that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's on the cutting room floor, It's
possible.
But, because this episode is pretty jam-packed. And, honestly, if it was a toss-up between having that scene and less of Red Mantle and Dragoon, I kind of approve of the decision that they made.
Oh, if any of the decisions had to come down to less of them, they made the right decision. Like more Red Mantle. What's his other Dragoon?
Dragoon, yeah.
More of them is always the right call. Always the right call.
Turns out 2 heads are better than 1. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. I've just been wanting to say that all day, and I was losing an opportunity.
Like, God damn, that's funny.
Just so good.
It just makes me so happy. They just make me.
Yeah, I mean,
so
for that being your biggest sticking point of why is Dean, like, it honestly didn't come up. It just kind of tracked. Like I went through, and it's like once they explained that it was, what was his name? Jonas? Not Jonas. The original, not the original, but
I don't remember his grandpa's name or great grandpa's name.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, like what you're saying makes sense and it tracks and it works. I feel like we missed out on a scene. And again, if you're saying it's because we wanted more of the other 2 guys, then that was the right call. Because this episode is so good to have this one, not even minor sticking point. It's kind of a major sticking point. If we couldn't really figure it out with just trying to make up a scene that isn't in the show, it's just kind of disappointing. It's not show breaking or episode breaking. It's still my favorite episode of the season as of right now. But it is just kind of annoying.
Yeah. But it also, I mean, the Sovereign is the Sovereign, and he's good at pulling the shade over people's eyes and just kind of proving a point without proving a point and all of this other stuff. And so it could have just been like, all right, here's some kind of logic that kind of makes sense. It's not really what happened, but as long as I can make this big show in front of entire GCI and make Phantom Limb look like a fucking crazy asshole, and everybody sees it, and see me as now being knighted as the Sovereign again, great. Done. That's my purpose as needed.
Yeah.
So even if the whole thing was bullshit, he still gets knighted as the new Sovereign and holder of the orb in front of all of these people. It's like, oh yeah, remember that time Phantom Limb looked like a total fucking douchebag? That was hilarious. Anyway, what do you say, Sovereign? It gets his purposes done.
I can't argue with any of that, but it still just doesn't 100% work for me. Not that it's the end of the world, but it's still just like, still could have been a little better.
I agree that it is an important point, and they probably could have explained it a little bit more, but
But yeah, does it need to eat up this much time in the episode? No, probably not.
No.
Right.
It's just when I have the rest of when I love 21 minutes of the 22-minute episode, I'm gonna be really annoyed at that extra minute because it's so close to being my favorite thing of all time.
Does
that make sense?
Totally.
Like that's why it bothers me, I think, as much as it does. Whereas other episodes have bigger sticking points that I just ignore because the rest of it isn't that high. And I think just because the juxtaposition between the two is so extreme that it bumps me more than it should.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But let's move into the actual fun stuff on this one. And I just want to get started right there with Dragoon and I keep forgetting both of their names.
Red Hood?
Red Mantle.
Red Mantle.
Red
thank
Mantle.
you. I keep wanting to call every time
Red
I say
Hood. No.
Yeah.
I want to say Red Death whenever I say Red,
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
and he comes
Not
later.
yet. Not yet. Still, also an incredible character.
Yeah.
He is an amazing character. Just
It is.
amazing. But we're not
His
there yet.
daughter. His daughter is adorable.
That comes later. This one, for me, this is the first time where a character has shown up, and I'm like, I could have this character in nearly every episode, and I don't care if it ruins the whole show. I find them so funny, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I enjoy them a lot.
I'm glad they don't listen to me and put them in every episode, but like, that's how much I have always loved them, in specifically this episode, but throughout everything. Whenever they show up, it's like, oh, good, they're here.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before in previous seasons and this. I think definitely in season 3 a lot. We were talking about incredible pairings of two characters playing off of each other and ones that would, usually not play off of each other, like Brok and Phantom Limb.
Right.
And in this, you get that in one character. You get these two characters that play off of each other that are literally attached to each other, and their banter between each other is astonishingly hilarious.
It's just so fucking good. Like, you can kind of tell instantly that they're like, oh, we're stuck together for the rest of time. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Like, you'd imagine that they should be more upset about this. Like, they're royally screwed right now, and they're just kind of like...
Well, they have their fight of, you control the right side. I bet I could take over the whole thing. I'm obviously the dominant one. Whatever dominant one. I've been piloting this bone bag for 73 years. And then they wrestle.
yeah, he gives him a noogie first, and then
Oh, yeah.
The fact that he gives him a noogie.
it's amazing.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, kind of going back to what we had said before, season 2 level of pairings, and this season really isn't about that. But man, these two guys together, it's just, I don't really know how to say it without just talking in circles about it. But it's their comedic timing together, just the way they're drawn together. Neither one of them have white eyes, which has always bothered me. It's kind of the same color as their flesh, but they both have it, so it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think it might be just an old man
Yes.
type of thing to make him look older.
Yeah, but then even as the show goes on, and at the end of it, they're talking to other people from the guild, and they're standing there, and they're like, "Look what happened to us." Yeah, we heard, but you're kind of pulling it off. It just kind of works.
Yeah.
I love that. Everything in the show's nah, this is just kind of how it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I think that also within their line of work, I feel like it's hard to be shocked by anything, which is one of the funnier things of the show, is that these insane things happen and people, generally speaking, take them in stride pretty much every time. And like you said, it's just after the second scene together, they're just this is it. They're totally fine with it.
It's the, well, this is me now.
Exactly. Also, why did Phantom Limb want to keep them alive?
I don't really know, but it doesn't really bother me either.
No, it doesn't bother me either.
Why did he want to keep them alive?
Yeah.
Because they are the oldest living council members, and they have all of the secrets.
I see.
Which he doesn't rely on for anything.
No.
Well,
he mentions it when he captures them, and they're having their discussion with the 4 of them and Billy Bag.
I just
When they're
tweeted the
talking
other
about
day,
the orb.
doesn't everybody wish they had their own Billy Bag?
Great. I'll get the Billy Bag.
I love Billy Bag.
I love Billy Bags so much. Especially because the incredibly uncomfortable joke of, did Sergeant Hatred rape Billy?
I looked this up in the book. Does not. Just a cuddle sesh.
Yeah. Okay, well that's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that he didn't go too far. But it did lead to, I want to go back in my bag. Oh, poor Billy.
So gross.
I'm glad that they do address that, though, because I would have felt a little worse about Sergeant Hatred had I known that he raped the poor Billy.
But it would be totally legal, though.
Well, rape is still illegal.
Other than the rape. But, I mean, you know what I'm saying. You know, it's like it wouldn't be statutory, so there's that.
You're really looking for a silver lining.
It's his biggest worry. It's Sergeant Hatred's biggest worry. So
that's true.
There.
At least he didn't backslide.
Yes.
After drinking Axe. Which I don't know why I never picked up on until this viewing, that I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
I don't know. And, like, what are the bottles that he's drinking out of? Or just, yeah.
Why do they have so much of it? Of whatever it is?
Hank. It's Axe.
Yeah.
It's legitimately, it's Axe body spray. Or the CVS off-brand, as he says.
Yes.
And I'm guessing he's just spraying it into his mouth.
I would assume
Dribbling
so.
down his chin.
Oh my god.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's moments like this why Public and Hammer are like, he's way more fun to write for than Brok.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you never get a moment of weakness from Brok. Like, just weakness in general, unless it has something to do with Molotov cocktails. There's no weakness from him. Sergeant Hatred is a walking, like, weakness trigger. Like, just something's going to set him off, and it's just downhill from there.
Exactly.
He needs a shot.
Yes, he does.
The other thing that we haven't really mentioned much in this episode that I kind of want to get into is we keep talking about the new two-headed council member and Sergeant Hatred and even Bowie a little bit, but there is actually a pretty fun side story with Rusty and Dean of, I guess we should just go out and face it, which is something Rusty has not done or even thought about doing since he was a child, I would assume.
Yeah. I do think that Rusty's trying to be a dad. I mean, like, that's one of the weirder arcs of this season that I'm picking up on is that, or I think that we're all picking up on, is that he's actually trying to be a father for at least a bit.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. Like, it's nice that he tries, and it's nice that he fails, because it is Adventure Brothers after all. And I really just enjoy that, like, the as he's doing it, you can just like, oh man, you're just not great at this, are you?
But he has nothing to pull on.
Yeah.
His father was even worse, surprisingly.
I mean, Jonas Sr. was arguably the worst dad. Full stop.
Yeah.
Just worst
So
ever.
he's doing a real good job at what he's got to work with. I mean, and we talked about last episode with the moment that he talks about Action Man waking him up with a gun against his temple.
Not today, Rusty. Not today.
And it's like, and then he would click the trigger, and the click was so loud, I thought one of my tooth broke. Like, oh my god. So that's what he's got to pull on as far as fatherhood.
Yeah.
That's,
and
not great. I think he's doing a real good job.
To compound
here,
this, I think he also, this has to be during one of his dad's swinger parties, and Action Man came in loaded, not the gun, just him, and just like wandered into Rusty's room drunk and just did this. And it was like, for Rusty, probably, unfortunately, kind of normal.
I would say very unfortunately, but yes.
Ugh.
Yeah. And I would probably also say that Action Man may not even remember it, whereas now it's shaped Rusty's life.
I would say you're 100% right. There's no chance Action Man remembers. If you were to bring this up with Action Man, he'd be like, sounds like something I'd do.
Jeez, I did that? I'm sorry. Like, it's just like, oh, God, so gross.
Like, he's kind of lucky that he didn't just come in screaming action.
Yeah,
Just
with a loaded gun, and then just murder Rusty.
oh my god. Action, 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 action.
So I think this episode ending up with Rusty and Dean riding around on the what do they call it? The no walk-evator thing. And having Rusty's fly get caught in it and taking another lap. I think he's doing a pretty good job at fatherhood.
Yeah.
I can't argue with you as much as I want to. Like, given where he's coming from and his upbringing, yes, you're right. He did not have much to start with. That doesn't make him a good father.
No.
Like, I think we all need to remember that excuses and explanations are two different things.
But he does.
True.
He does at least have, I think, the one plus side of this episode is that it shows kind of what one of Rusty's only strengths, which is kind of like coping with the absurdity of his life.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
which in this universe is an incredible and wonderful, beautiful skill to have, because everything is ridiculous. And like as we were talking about, of like how, you know, Red Mantle and Dragoon of like just like kind of walk into a room and nobody's like, what the hell? Everybody's like, oh yeah, there's that two-headed guy. It's like, yeah, just there. This is just something you need to roll with the punches.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is also kind of the point in the season where we stop seeing civilians. Like, I could be wrong, but I don't think they really come around anymore. Like, I think that experiment of, like, let's see what the neighbors think is kind of done at this point, at least for a little while. And I feel like they were waiting for that moment to really pull out the crazy guns of, here's a two-headed guy.
yeah, I think you're right. I think that they
Because if we were to have... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that you're right. I think that it's weird to have... I think they realized that it was weird to have civilians in the way that they were using them. I think that they still pop in and out, but they're mostly gags. So, like, you know, the ones that we've talked about already before, but I think that they've just decided, you know what, like, let's lean into some of the absurdity of the world that they're currently in. I think it's really hard to mix worlds, like, just in general.
And I think they usually do a very good job with it, but the civilian stuff is just always kind of hit or miss for me. And I feel like this one, it just requires such a leap for the civilians that I think it's kind of the right call to start leaving them out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because this one, if the cops had shown up at this point, like, what the fuck is happening? There's 1,000 people on the lawn. One guy's knighting another guy. There's a two-headed guy there. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
They all get vaporized.
Yeah.
Is what would happen.
Yeah, essentially. So I as much as I do enjoy seeing civilians pop up, I feel like this is kind of the right time to start seeing them less.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they work as, you know, maybe the butt end of a joke, and that's pretty much it. And then just kind of leave them there.
Well, what's interesting is that in the past, I think that the way that they've worked really well is when all of a sudden randomly they're brought in. Like, almost like if the Venture Brothers is an office, they poke their head in for a second and go, oh shit, and then poke their head out. Like, the gag from the first season where Helper's attached to the satellite, and, like, he's just like, wah, 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 and, like, this lady's like, hold on, I've got another call, and patches over, and then patches back. She's like, I think it was just somebody faxing me, and just, like, continues. It's like, the crossover of the two worlds in that one weird moment really works, but it doesn't work if that woman stayed around for the rest of the episode.
And the other moment that we had this season that I think was funny was, like, exactly one of those things of, like, man on the street type of thing. It was, like, when Captain Sunshine is flying over the city. And the guy's like, hey, it's Captain Sunshine. Ah, that's great that he's back. I mean, stay away from my kid. But... it's like, yeah, it's great for a laugh, and then done. We don't need to hear from them ever again.
Yeah. So the only thing we really haven't talked about in this episode that I feel like we absolutely have to is the main man himself, Phantom Limb.
Revenge, of course, you mean. Not Phantom Limb.
My name is Revenge. Your name is Phantom Limb.
And the Revenge Society, which are surprisingly good at, you know, getting things done.
Yeah, the Revenge Society, this isn't the last we see of them either. Like, that becomes kind of a staple for a little while, at least until Phantom Limb rejoins the guild.
Yeah, which takes a while. Yeah,
it does. It does take a while, but like this becomes the thing that he's a part of. And as much as I enjoy, sane Phantom Limb, there's something about insane Phantom Limb that's just so much more fun.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Well,
he's lost it.
Just him talking about Lady Nightshade is just phenomenal.
It's amazing.
This is Lady Nightshade. Her skills are obvious. It's a shoe. And it's not even just a shoe. It's Dr. Mrs. the Monarch's shoe.
See, this is what I was going to say. So here's a question that I wanted to ask, and I was going to wait. Do you think that he took mementos from other people he feels like have wronged him? Because I think that's the reason why he takes the shoe, right?
Oh, absolutely. If we were to find out that that's Rusty's toaster, I would never be surprised.
Exactly, right? So it's like, where do you think he got the mug and the toaster? Toaster from Rusty? The mug is David Bowie's?
Possibly.
Maybe. Would David Bowie have a mug that said wisdom on it? I don't know.
I don't think so. But I also love... I love that he thinks the mug is sovereign and kills the mug.
Yeah. Amazing.
And then tries to kill Sovereign with the mug.
Yeah.
Oh no, God, no! Don't activate with a broken mug. I mean, this.
Oh God. I how do you not just love him? He's just the best.
He's the best. He has I also love it because he is kind of such an over the top I think Dr. Orpheus-esque character where he's very theatric. And I think to have him just go into the deep end, I feel really lends some strength to that character that's just yeah, I mean, he's probably 3 steps removed from where he was, but he's still just putting on a weird show. It's very interesting.
You've just now made me really wish that Orpheus was the Phantom Limb's arch. Or other way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would have had some dramatic battles.
Of course. The monologues?
Either nothing would have nothing would have happened because the monologues would take an entire episode.
The monologues, the shouting into sky as there's lightning coming down around them,
incredible.
There would have been some battles.
Yep. Dragon Ball Z-esque battles.
Yeah.
Where one battle lasts half of a season.
I'm very disappointed we don't get that now. Thanks a lot, Nick. This is all your fault.
I'm so sorry.
You don't like Torrid?
Fuck Torrid. I hate Torrid. I don't hate Torrid. I just don't love Torrid. Definitely not as much as I love Crazy Phantom Limb.
I love that all of the things that he's doing kind of work. Which, I think the first time I saw this episode, I kind of hated that. And then the second and third time and every other time I've watched this, I'm like, yeah, why not? I mean, I guess he's charging the toaster with his hand. I don't know.
But here's my thing with it. I see what you're saying. It is annoying that this hobo villain is doing such a great job.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that Phantom Limb is great as a villain. He was an amazing villain.
He's very successful.
And he's
great. And his one-liners are great. I mean, I think when he breaks into, it's incredible using the toaster to do all the things, and then he takes a bite out of the toast. He's like, it needs something. It needs jam, and then flings the toast at the end and jams the piece of toast into a 3.5-inch floppy disk drive. You're like, incredible.
He's really good at what he does. So whereas I agree with you, yes, it's annoying that everything works. If anyone was going to be able to be that successful, it would be Phantom Limb.
Of course. I'm just annoyed. It's he's wrong. So damn talented.
Yes.
I have a friend like that from high school that I'm not going to name because he listens to this show, but fuck you, buddy.
Hey, don't say that about Buddy.
Stop being so talented.
Syndrome? Are you friends with Syndrome? Go home, buddy.
I am. We went to high school together.
You sly dog.
Yeah,
that checks out.
I keep that one hidden.
That checks out.
But I think that's kind of everything. We've definitely talked at length about how great the two-headed guy is. Phantom Limb is phenomenal. Dean doesn't make any sense. Bowie's always great. Is there anything that we haven't hit?
I have an unanswerable question.
Ooh, I love unanswerable questions. I usually have answers to them.
Was Buddy Holly in the guild?
I don't know. You're right. I don't have them all. That one's
and the Big Bopper.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely make you think he was.
Right. That's it.
I wish we'd gotten an answer to it, but, I think it's all right.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
The other thing that we didn't really mention that I'm afraid if it's one of your quotes, then I'll just delete this part. But I love the whole reference to Gilligan's Island where everyone gets knocked out with one hit on the head.
Yeah.
Like, this show's so jam-packed. This episode specifically, so jam-packed with everything. It's fun just to see how much they're able just to, like anywhere there's a little bit of air, they're able to squeeze in a joke. Like, this one is just so well done.
Yeah. Well, and then there's also the additional joke after that where he's like, oh, yeah, and I bet Billy will have amnesia after one knock on the head. Which he did have amnesia after one knock on the head in the Invisible Hand of Fate earlier.
Oh, that's totally true.
Which
that's
is
amazing.
Great.
I never picked up on that.
Right?
Man, this is a good show. Fuck, that's good. I'm glad you caught that. That brings me joy. But I think that's it. I think we're ready to get into quotes. You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. I went first last week. I'll let one of you guys go. I only wrote down one, so please don't take mine, but I only have the one. So go ahead.
Oh, no pressure. Jeez.
I think I know what yours might be.
I've quoted mine many times. Since this episode has aired, I've quoted it many times.
I feel like I'm pretty safe, so I'll go.
Okay.
Go for it.
My favorite is just because this doesn't really work, but I feel like continuing a long string of things where my quotes revolve around sight gags that don't really translate to podcasts. But I just love when Billy's in the bag and he says that he knows where the orb is, and Phantom Limb moves his hand, and there's just this pause, and Billy goes, "Is he pointing a gun at me?" And then later on in the same scene, he's like, Phantom Limb's introducing all of the people in the Revenge Society, and Billy's like, why can't I hear any of them?
And then Red Mantle goes, because you're sane.
Yes, it's so good. I just love the thing of Billy just being polite and just being in the bag, and just being like,
I fucking love the Billy bag so much.
It's the best. It's my favorite part of this episode.
So
I want to
good.
go back in my bag. I wish that was my quote, but it's not. But Graham, you can go first. I'll let you take it. Just don't take my line.
Yeah.
Just don't take it. But you can go. Go ahead. Just don't take mine.
I'll do my best. So basically, as we've said,
No, it's mine!
Red Mantle and Dragoon and Phantom Limb's interaction with each other are just hilarious. So Phantom Limb comes back to the lair, and then Dragoon goes, "Where have you been all day? Been standing here holding my dick with my dick in my head." That was my dick.
With my hand.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay, good. That one also wasn't mine, but fuck, that's a good one. Okay, so mine's it's a back and forth, and it had to be. Since I've seen this episode the first time, I don't think I ever laughed as loudly or as hard as I did at this specific line. And it's when he's telling Dragoon and Red Mantle to go do something, and they're like, "What? No." And he says, "We haven't been outside in 60 years. I'm afraid the streets are overrun with teenage gangs. Teenagers are cruel and will undoubtedly taunt us because our trousers aren't in style anymore. And we are two heads on one body, which has never, ever been hip."
That was another one of mine. It's incredible.
What an odd
Two heads
fear.
on one body has never been hip. I thought you were going to go for the Batman quotes between Hank and...
Oh my god, I had so many of those too, but it's just they will undoubtedly taunt us because our trousers aren't in style anymore. It's so brilliant that I can't even, I'm speechless at how good that line is.
Can I throw in an honorable mention?
Absolutely.
I love when Sergeant Hatred's tried to explain to Hank his condition, and Hank goes, "We already know you used to be a pedestrian."
And then immediately offers a huge bomb to him. It was like, "Do you think they're here to kill you because God forgot to?"
Yes.
Oh my God! And it slips out so easily and then just gets quickly brushed under the rug.
Oh, so good.
God.
And then Hank immediately follows it. I think they're here for me because I've got so much Batman in me.
Oh, so good.
Oh, Hank.
This episode
You're just so Hank.
And so Batman.
So
Batman. He's not Batman. He's got zero Batman. I would love to give him the bone, but he's got zero Batman. Because Batman would just ride around on a motorcycle popping non-existent wheelies in order to get out of doing something.
Amazing.
Oh, Hank. So that brings it close to today's episode. Unfortunately, these things all must happen. So we're going to do a very quick round of plugs, if you will. Let me pull this number up again. Here we go. It's still happening because none of you have succeeded in doing it, which I'm very disappointed, but I believe in you. Stump Samwise is still happening. So the show Samwise Advice Podcast gives life advice based on Lord of the Rings, the extended editions, and their special features. You can contact Sam at 608-561-2755, or text her, or email her at sam.wise@ath@gmail.com. And here we go. Stump Samwise. Think of a question she can't answer. I dare you. And then, of course, listen to After the Hype Thursdays. Read our articles. Comes out Wednesdays and Fridays. We're still trying to do more. It just hasn't happened yet. We are working on it. And listen to all of our new shows. We've just recorded the first 4 episodes of Demon Days, and those will be coming out shortly. You'll hear my lovely voice as the intro narrator. It's going to be fun. And that's everything for me. Do you guys have anything you're plugging?
Hip trousers.
Hip trousers.
2 heads on one body becoming hip.
I mean, if only, man. If only. Can always hope.
It's true.
One day.
You're my only hope.
Got real somber for that one. Yeah, that's everything. So thank you everyone for listening. This one was great. And then next week we have, and here's a pause because I didn't pull up next week's episode. Do either one of you know off the top of your head?
Hold on. Self-medication.
Okay. And
Wait,
next
I don't
week
know if
we
that's
have,
true. Hold on.
Yes, it is. Oh, it is true. Self-medication.
Oh, okay.
And next week, be sure to tune in for Self-Medication, another great episode that for some reason right now I cannot remember what it's about at all. But I know I like it, so if that's any consolation, right?
Yeah. And then after that, The Better Man, where Orpheus comes back.
Oh, thank God. I've been missing Orpheus.
Me too.
I'm so excited for him to come back. So, bye.
Bye.
Bye.